After the successful cutting of the tree, their attention shifted to food, which is plentiful if you know what to look for. They spotted wild yam vines and dug up a few, taking care to replant the vines and making mental note of this resource. They headed out of the forest to a small house the forestry team uses as a shelter. Lemongrass and mint were picked and put to boil for a refreshing tea. They set up a tap so they could cook and stay warm. This will be their camp while in the forest. Sado and Uncle Pai decided to make bow and arrows, a weapon the Carib and Kalinago people used in hunting and times of war. A stick is placed over a fire and slowly carved into the shape of a bow. This way it bends but does not break. Uncle Pai bends the stick between a tree so it retains its curve while it cools. The technique was passed down from parents and grandparents. A strong line is tied on both ends of the bow to complete the process. After a long day, they sat around the campfire and prepared for their first night in the forest. With flambeau in hand, they decided to do some night fishing, but the light was a beacon for every mosquito on the river to attack. They disregarded the swarming insects and focused on catching crayfish. Holding the fire right above the water, they placed their hands on the rocks, slowly feeling around for the movement of the crayfish. They caught a fair amount, but also became food for the mosquitoes. An excellent example of how the food chain works. This experience was a true representation of the lives their ancestors lived in these very mountains. It became incredibly cold, so they ventured back to camp. A very cold and miserable night of constant rain. They awoke and roasted their catch from the night before. Being ate alive by mosquitoes does have some benefits. Crayfish, bush tea, and roasted yam. An amazing breakfast. The journey from the campsite to the tree area was a little over a mile. The fresh morning air has a different smell from anywhere else on the island. You can hear everything for miles. Being in nature changes your senses. The hand-woven basket left an imprint on Sado's shoulder. It was filled with ground provision and coconuts. He wanted to prepare a meal at the tree site. Employing the technique of cooking underground, he dug a hole, the ground being very cold and damp, making it not ideal, but he persisted. Leaves were used to form an underground pot, and the food is then placed inside. More leaves are then placed over the food so dirt can be pulled over. The dirt is carefully pressed down, sealing the pot, and a fire is lit on top, with pieces of the trees being cleared away. The forestry team took the rest of the day to clear the area so the work of turning the tree into a canoe can begin. Follow the Caribbean Collective for more episodes.